I got some live. How you guys doing? I just thought it was time for a lesson. I maybe just a random lesson, but I have a couple ideas. Just like to do a lesson here. Join me if you like. Appreciate it if you do. If you don't, that's cool too. Yeah. I was thinking of you go through different levels when you're playing, and you learn as you're learning, and you get a new technique, which was for me 31 years ago, was alternate picking. And it's so revolutionary to me. And not only that, takes mastery and therefore concentration and practice, that I focus on that almost way more than maybe I should, or way more than a more advanced style would do. And the other day I was just thinking about it, and I thought, why not let some of that go and be the player be more like the player I was before I learned alternate picking, only just different because I do know alternate picking rather than being consumed by alternate picking. And it reminded me, and I thought of a quote by Paul Gilbert, who said, it's not cheating to do hammer-ons and pull-offs. That's not cheating. You don't have to pick every note. In fact, lots of great players, do less of picking than others. Richie Kotzen calls some of his ideas licks without picks. Alan Holdsworth, who some say is the greatest guitarist that maybe ever lived, my guitar teacher, Tom Franks, used to say that it sounds like he never picks. So there's a lot of times when you don't need to pick, and you still get a good sound. Like, for instance, if I'm doing a scale run, let's say I do an A Mixolydian run, I can go like this. That sounds good, but you can also go or tapping. Still sounds good, just different. Yes, it's good to have alternate picking. It's really essential and necessary, but it's also good to recover from that and not just let it define you, and then do other things too. And that's what I've finally breaking through in my own playing lately, is starting to do this. Where to master something, sometimes is giving it up because you've mastered it. If you haven't given it up, maybe you haven't mastered it. If you mastered it, maybe you should give it up, or at least partly. Do other things too. Be more balanced. Don't just be a one-trick pony. Even though alternate picking is very important, or I wouldn't have spent 31 years on it. But sometimes it's good not to. You get a good sound with hammers and pull-offs. I'm picking once in a while, but not all the time. I like that sound. That sounds good too. It doesn't have to be just picking every note. That's not the only sound that you can get, or that's good, is the picking sound. So there's that, and then I want to go on about scales. I think that every Western player of Western tonal music or player of Western tonal music is a multitasker, because if you think about what's the tools, the possibilities available to you, there's so many that you almost have to be a juggler to even play, unless you don't know anything about one thing, which makes you not really that versatile of a player. I've mentioned, and let's just go over this again, you have the overtone series, which gives you a major triad. You have it just comes out that way. And then the undertone series, but works up instead of down gives you a minor triad. And then taking a major triad and going up a fourth and also down a fourth gives you 3 chords. And those 3 chords, all majored, give you a major scale. That would be a B major scale. B major, triad, E major triad, F sharp major triad, and D major triad all give you B major scale. But there's 12 of those. You can do that on all 12 notes. So all 12 notes have a major triad, then a major triad up a fourth, and a major triad down a fourth to give you 12 major scales. That's a lot of material, harmonic and melodic, to juggle just to play, and that's just major scales. The minors, the minors, I do a minor triad up a fourth, and a major triad down a fourth. That gives you, in this case, if it's B minor, E minor, and F sharp major, it gives you B harmonic minor scale. But there's 12 of those. There's like 12 possibilities from just the minor scales. There's 12 for the major scales. And that's just playing major and minor scales. There's pentatonics, there's modes, there's blues scales, there's all kinds of crap. You gotta really get it. There's a lot to playing Western tonal music. But that's just the nature of the beast. You just have to take your lumps and learn it. And then on top of that, what I'm recently getting into, just recently, is there's rhythmic differences. Let me explain this. Can I explain this? Is it okay? I picked this up when I did Honestly by Stryper, when it's going, Now, why is that? Why does that make me think of rhythm? Because that is in 3/4 time. It's waltz. Not waltz, W-A-L-T-S, but waltz, W-A-L-T-Z. It's a waltz when you're in 3/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's all 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, hard if you want to play it well. In other words, if you're playing a waltz, you don't play it very well unless you know it's a waltz and count it out, at least on some level, or at least know it's in 3/4 time and keep that count involved. If you try to play a waltz and you're not waltzing inside, you're just going to suck. You have to get that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, You know, that's totally different than 4/4 strolling and marching and rock and roll type beats. So there's that variable too. Of all the keys, all the triads, majors and minors, and minor scales and major scales, harmonic minors, major scales, and there's even melodic minor and harmonic major. Got rhythmic differences. And then there's the 4/4 time where it's more familiar, you know, 1, 2, 3, you know. That's at least what I'm more familiar with, but it doesn't mean it's the only thing. It's not even the only thing you come across in rock and roll, because the waltz of the striper, honestly, is rock and roll, but at least in a rock and roll band, it's from an rock and roll band, but it's in 3/4 times. You got to know time signatures differences, and then there's tempo. And I don't want to. The Madrigal gets tempo confused with time signature. When he talks about tempo, he calls it a time signature. Well, that's fine if you know what he means by that and don't take it literally. But time signature and tempo are different things. Tempo is how fast the beats are going. You know, whether it's going like, whether it's or that's tempo. That's not time signature. Time signature is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, or even 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not tempo. That's number of beats in a measure, which is what time signature is. So you've got tempo to play with. You've got time signature to play with. You've got all the 12 keys, majors and minors. You've got all the triads in each major and minor key. There's a lot of crap you got to multitask in music. And don't forget the rhythm, like I just said. It sounds different to do 3/4 time versus 4/4 time. 3/4 time is a lot of this, like. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Four time is more fours. What do you think? You know, and there's even fives. You know, take it to the moon if you want. And a lot of that, if I'm playing it at that fast of a tempo, a lot of that is subdivision of a beat, such as quintuplets, 16th notes versus triplets. But it's the same concept as time signature, just at a micro level. Basically, the triplet is just 3/4 time at a microcosmic level. And now one beat is the measure. And now you're playing 3 notes per that beat, which makes it a triplet, but it really could be thought of as that beat is the measure. You're in 3/4 time. It's just a matter of perspective and how close you are, whether that is considered a triplet or if it's considered 3/4 time. Case in point, 12/8 time. 12/8 time is actually really slow triplets in 4/4 time. But since the triplets are so slow, they become 12/8 time. For it could be the basic rhythm would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I'm doing triplets in each of those. So I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's 12/8 because you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that what was really triplets in a very slow 4/4 becomes 8th notes in a 12/8. It's a matter of perspective, you know. You can think of swing if it's triplet feel, as waltz on just a micro level. Think of 16th notes or straight 8ths or straight 16ths as rock and roll on a microcosmic level. 16th notes are 4 notes per beat, and 4 that could be considered 4/4 time if that one beat was the measure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, or triplet. 1, 2, 1, that's really slow 3/4 time. If you want to look at it that way, and 16th notes is really slow, really fast 4/4 time. Actually, so was the triplet was really fast 3/4 time. It's like really fast tempo 3/4 time, but it's considered triplets because it's each beat, each measure is now a note. It's kind of like taking notes and dividing them into groups, and then taking each one of those notes and dividing it into a group. It's like a second order operation. You could almost do a time signature with 3 numbers. You could do 4/4 time is quarter note gets a beat, and there's 4 beats in a major, but what if that's a swing triplet field? You could say 3-4-4. 3-4, that means triplet for each note in the each of the quarter notes, and then the 4 means 4 quarter notes in the major, and the 4 at the bottom means that those 4 quarter notes. So triplet feel in 4/4 time could be considered 3-4-4, or 16th notes could be 4/4-4, because now 4 is 16th notes. There's 4 divisions per beat, but there's 4 beats per measure, and that's the 2nd, 4th. But each beat is a quarter note, and that's the 4 at the bottom. But that hasn't been adopted. Me and this guy named Quan, we were going to be in an EDM band, and we were thinking of that. We thought of that kind of together. Our idea was to make a 3-part time signature instead of just 2, because you have 4/4 time, but what's the subdivision of the beat? If it's quintuplets, it's 5/4/4. If it's 16th, it's 4/4/4. If it's triplets, it's 3/4/4. Makes a difference, but people haven't caught up to that or saw value in it yet. Or maybe they never will. Who knows? But that was the idea me and Quan were working on. If you wanted to say triplets in 3/4 time, you would say 3-3-4. If you wanted to say 16th notes in 3/4 time, it would be 4-3-4. Manic Depression by Jimi Hendrix would be 3-3-4, because it's 3/4 time, but there's triplet feel. So it's 3-3-4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1 to the 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 3 is the 3 triplet feel, but the 1 dun dun is a 3-4. It's dun da 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 dun. Interesting. And interesting that it sounds like rock and roll, even though it's got a lot of 3s involved and not just 4s like rock and roll usually has. Anyway, that was my spiel about rhythm and about different parameters of Western tonal music. I say tonal because if you're in atonal music, you don't have those parameters because you don't have any key. You just have a 12-tone row, which simplifies it but makes it sound ugly. But maybe not to you. If you like 12-tone music, cool. Serial composition and atonality. There's some people might like that. Anyway, I was looking up my Quora. I'm a member of, and a question came up that I'm going to answer maybe, but rather than just answer it on Quora and get 3 people to watch it, I thought about making it a question on this video. For this lesson, I'm going to make a question that they proposed in Quora that people didn't answer very well, and I'm going to try to answer it in this video. Is that cool? They said, how come jazz has so many flat keys and classical has more sharp keys? Well, let's check it out. The thing about jazz is there's lots of 7-note chords. There's a lot of 7th chords. I should have 4-note chords, which are 7th chords in jazz. Major 7th, major 7th, another major 7th, half to major 7th, minor 7th, minor 7th, minor 7th, dominant 7th, major 7th, major 7th. That's where I started, right? Isn't that where I started when I went? So a lot of 4-note chords, which are called 7ths, i.e. major 7th, major 7th. Yeah, let's do that. Major 7th, major 7th, half to minor 7th, minor 7th, minor 7th, minor 7th, minor 7th, major 7th, major 7th. I didn't play that right, did I? Let's play it right now. I played it as a dominant 7th. I was goofing my finger. So why is that? And whereas classical music plays more triads. Major triad, major triad, major triad, minor triad, minor minor triad, major triad, major triad, major triad, diminished triad, major triad, minor triad. Why does that matter, and what's got to do with sharp or flat keys? Well, first some preview. Flat notes tend to want to go down. Sharp notes tend to want to go up. If I'm playing D sharp, I'm more likely to play E. If I'm playing E flat, I'm likely to play D. Same note to start. But if I say it's D sharp, I'm talking about something like this. Or it's going to want to go up because it's a D sharp. If I call it E flat, it's more likely to go down, i.e. it's going to want to go down because the E flat wants to go down to D. Okay, why is that important, and who cares? Well, if notes end up being flat notes, you tend to want to go down, which makes more flat notes. And since you're playing downward and you're making more flat notes, you tend to have flat keys if you're doing a lot of flats. That sounds obvious. If you're doing more sharps, you're going to have a lot of more rising notes and sharp notes, which are going to make you have sharp keys. Well, why does that matter? Well, jazz chords have 4-note chords, mostly. 3-note chords don't sound like jazz. I bet this doesn't sound like jazz, but this does. And since most Western music, when it progresses up in fourths, down in fifths, but I'll say up in fourths right now. Going up in fourths. When you go up in fourths with seventh chords, you flat things. Things get flattened. Let's check it out. I'll do an E dominant 7th chord, up a fourth to an A dominant 7th chord. All right, what happens to the action? Well, an E dominant 7th chord is this. The A dominant 7th chord is this. So I just went down with two of the notes just went down by half steps, and one of the notes stayed the same, and one of the notes went down by a whole step. So the net movement is down a whole step per note. When I went up a fourth, which is what most progressions do, because that's down a fifth, I go down with the notes. They become flatter. And then when I go the next, if I go from an A7 to the next one, up a fourth, which would be D7, I go down from there even. That's an A7, and here's a D7. So the two notes went down by half steps. One note stayed the same, and one note went down by a whole step. So again, it's a net movement of a half step down per note. And up a fourth, down makes you go down to flatter notes. Up a fourth makes you go down to flatter notes. Fourth again, more flat, 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 flat. Every time and all the jazz progressions are 2, 5, 1, 4, they're all down, up a fourth. And because they use 7th chords, which have 4 notes, it's up. Their progressions are always flatting in direction of movement. You don't hear people going up in fourths in jazz too much. You just don't hear that. Going up in fourths doesn't sound right. I'm going down in fourths, it doesn't sound right. I'm going up in fifths, which is no. Yeah, I'm going up in fifth, which is down in fourths. Yeah, I'm going down in fourths, which is up in fifths, and it doesn't sound right. No one likes that sound for some reason. is unresolving, it's icky, it doesn't sound right. But when you go up and forth, people like that. But it's all downward movement, which leads to more flat notes than usual. And the more flat notes you have, the more notes that want to go flat, which puts you in flatter keys. And that's why in jazz, you have a lot of keys that are flat in signature. If you start with C, most of the keys go a lot more like F, which is 1 flat, B flat is 2 flats, E flat is 3 flats, A flat is 4 flats, D flat is 5 flats. You just have a lot of flats because all the progressions go down in progression. All the voice leadings and notes go down as you progress in most of the progressions. Ergo, lots of flat keys in jazz. Classical, not so much, because if you go up in fourths in the triads, you're going up in pitch. If I go from here to here, that's also here. Wait, let's make sure I do that right. Up and fourth is that, from here to here. This is A major to D major. That's up a fourth, but it's triads. And going up and forth makes you go up in pitch on the progressions. So now you're getting sharp notes, which makes you want to sharpen more, which gives you sharp keys. So if I start with a C major triad, and which is more classical, and also, you know, most pop music starts with classical more than jazz. So a lot of pop music is in sharp keys, but not always. Some pop music can have flat keys too. Pop music is in a big amphibian. It can do a lot of both. But mostly sharp keys for most people. But that doesn't mean it has to be true. It's not always true. Not you know, can be broken. So if I start with C, I go up to F, which is up a fourth. That's up in pitch. Then from F I go from F I go up a fourth to B flat, and now I would have F to B. Okay, that's F major, and I'm going to go up to B flat, which would give me this. Yeah, that's up note. That's also sharp. More sharp notes. Wait, that's not B flat. C to F to B flat would be. Let me get my stuff here. Would be this. Yeah, that's B flat. That's how you go. Went up with that. That's B. That's F major to B flat major. You just went up, and you went up in pitch. One note went up a half step. One note stayed the same. One note went up a whole step. So it was an average per note of half step up. So C, F, B flat, and then you go up from B flat to the next fourth down, which would be E flat, and suddenly I would have this. So that's also up more up movement. C, F, B flat, E flat. Just climbs up the ladder. So since triads go up in pitch when you go up in fourths, which is what most progressions do, with classical bass music, you have a lot of sharper keys. You don't have a lot of B flat in major in classical music, or E flat. You have more C, D, G, B, A, you know, sharp keys. That's my explanation of that. That was on Quora. And if I can comment that on Quora, but I'll get 3 views or something. But I might do that. It just takes time. You have to type it all out. It's just a pain. But I thought of making a lesson out of it, so that was my little spiel about. And then in blues, which is interesting. Blues is interesting because it uses the 7th chords, but it doesn't do the same thing that jazz does. Jazz goes up and forth continuously in their progressions, but blues borrows from the classical idea of going up a fourth and then up a fifth, and then having a tonic in the middle. So you have in G blues, I would have G7, C7, and D7. So I start with G7. I go up a fourth to C7. Back to G7. I go up a fourth to D7. That's my 3 chords. The 1 chord, the 4 chord, 1 chord, and the 5 chord. So 1, 4, 5. Well, how's the 7th chord idea change it from classical? Rhetorical question, because I'm going to answer it. In classical, if I want to go up, I'm going to go from 5 to 1. If I want to go down, I go from 4 to 1. So 4 to 1 is down, 5 to 1 is up. So in classical, we hear a lot of 5 to 1. We want to hear 5 to 1. It's considered the perfect cadence, whereas 4 to 1 is the plagal cadence. The amen cadence isn't as strong as the authentic 5 to 1 cadence. But blues reverses that, because since in blues, the upward motion is from the 4 to the 1. From C7 to G7 is down a fourth, but that's where you go up in pitch. So people want to hear 4 to 1 in blues more than 5 to 1. Because in 5 to 1 in blues, you go down in pitch. So blues likes more 4-1 than it does 5-1, whereas classical likes 5-1 more than 4-1. That's why in blues progressions, there's more 4 chords than there are 5 chords. Blues progression is 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, 4, 1, 1, 5, 4, 1, 5. So there's only 2 5 chords in the whole 12 bars of blues, but there's 3. Wait, let me check this out. There's 3 4 chords, which is more than there are 5 chords. And the rest of the 7, I think I did that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 1 chords. Yeah. But 2 5 chords and 3 4 chords. And we prefer 4 to 1 more than 5 to 1. Hence more 4 chords in a blues progression than 5 chords. And that's one reason I caught a comment about Keith Richards in an 80s guitar magazine that said Keith Richards has more than 4-1 up his sleeve. Why'd they not say 5-1? Because he's more of a blues guitarist, and blues has more 4 to 1 than 5 to 1. You get a lot more mileage with 4 to 1 with blues because of the upward motion. The 5 is just an ornament. Most of the meat of the motion is 4 to 1. Baby's home. Baby's coming home. Baby's coming home. Baby's coming home. Baby's coming home. I know it's time to run. Baby's coming home. Baby's, I just made that up, but the more 4 to 1 than there are 5 to 1. But in classical, we have almost 5 to 1. We like to hear that. As triads up when you go 5 to 1. The verse is true of 7th chords, which is dominant 7th chords, or what blues is harmonies from, or has. So there's that. Anything else while I'm here? Spiel about flat keys in jazz versus sharp proper keys in classical. Let's see. Like I've been talking about, jazz is the most complex of the 4 forms. There's jazz, classical, blues, and country. Jazz is the most complex because you have 4-note chords and 7-note scales. So you have the most of both. The scales and the chords have the most you can have. 4-note chords and diatonic scales. It gets simpler slightly with classical because you have 3-note chords, but still 7-note scales. Blues reverses it, but still keeps some simplicity and some complexity because blues has 7-note, 7th chords or 4-note chords, but pentatonic scale. Country is the dumbest of all because it has triads and pentatonic 5-note scales, the simplest of both. Country has a lot of triads and then pentatonic. Simplest and dumbest, but nothing wrong with that if that's what you like. I prefer classical and blues more than jazz or country, but I'm working on that. I'm working on trying to like jazz more, and especially working on trying to like country more, because I like jazz more than country more. I like jazz easier than I like country. Country is the hardest for me to like, but I'm working on liking it. So just, and that's my own music theory about that. No one told me that. I just worked that out for myself about the 4 forms of music and the types of harmony and or chord and scale in each type. Think of north as jazz, west as classical, east as blues, and south as country. The north is the hardest, that's jazz. South is the easiest, that's country. West is classical, and east is blues. That's how I do it. That's how I think of it. So anything else, and you can pay an example. You don't need me to play all that for you. I think you guys get that. Anything else while I'm here? Yeah, I'm beginning to get more into melodic minor scales and harmonic major scales more than I used to. There's some use in there. They sound interesting. The Moderator and I and the studio guy have a song we're writing called "I Hate Iran." That's my tentative title for it. And the Moderator's got me playing melodic minor scales for the song, a lot of it, because they melodic minor scales sound very, very Middle Eastern and very Iranian, if you think of it that way. A lot of the, if I'm playing you know, a certain thing, and I play a melodic minor scale, very Middle Eastern sounding. Almost kind of Western, but kind of not. You know, hence Middle Eastern, not completely Far Eastern, but not completely West, Middle Eastern. I find that fascinating, you know. And then the harmonic major scale just sounds weird, but still, that's nothing wrong with that. Kind of sounds Middle Eastern too, maybe more Eastern than West, but still. And like the evil twin of the melodic minor scale, the Middle Eastern brother that maybe is weirder than the other brother. Sounds Middle Eastern too, but weirder, kind of weirder than the melodic minor. At least sounds more normal. That sounds more normal to me than. It sounds even worse, even more weird than the melodic minor. Melodic minor. Sorry. Harmonic major. They both sound kind of different than normal, kind of Middle Eastern. In fact, that just gave me an idea. For the I Hate Iran song, I might throw some harmonic major scales in with the melodic minor scales. Make it more expressive. Let's do it right. That sounds good to me. Mix them up, they sound better than they do by themselves. Like balance each other out. Hear that? Kind of sounds cool to mix them up, both of them. That's cool. Just give me an idea that I got from just talking and teaching you guys. So anything else? Melodic minor. And don't forget linear on all that. It's a linear E melodic minor scale. Here's a linear E harmonic major scale. So that way too. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. I guess we soon.